Oh, is my video looking a little funny?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
little blurry.
there it is. I don't know what did I do. Okay, it just
Now,
had to focus in. It
yeah, when
had
you
to
get
focus.
closer, yeah.
All right, all right. Greetings, greetings. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you all are well. Happy Sunday. Hope you all are having a beautiful weekend. Haki Me, Success Scholar, broadcasting live out of Raising Consciousness and Capital page, Teaching Artists Institute page, as well as my Facebook group pages. Haki Shakur Me is the name. Share, like, and subscribe. Definitely, please. But I wanted to have a good conversation. The other day, I asked about Dubai, and fortunately, we have some individuals that will be going to Dubai to get an award on behalf of the Teaching Arts Institute founder, Sister Kim Poole. But Sister Dr. Lola Thompson, who should need no introduction to the world, but she's an amazing entrepreneur, real estate investor in the DMV, but definitely all over, doing top of the line real estate trainings, mentorship, and development in the area and specializing in the Baltimore area. So I wanted to have a conversation about Dubai, and Sister Kim will be on shortly. And so, Dr. Lola, welcome, sister.
Thank you, thank you, thanks for having me, Haki. I appreciate you. I so
Great.
appreciate you.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, tell us. So, when uh, you know, we have just, it seemed like Dubai just kind of popped up and just like everybody just seemed to be like, Dubai, Dubai, Dubai. Like, what is I mean, and I don't know how much you know about the history. I don't want to, because that could be a lot. I mean, I've been watching a few videos to prepare for this, but what did they do? Like, and let me just give a history. I went, when I was in the Navy, I went to uh, Bahrain and Jebel Ali some years ago. You got to unmute him some years ago, but I mean, I saw the city, and I don't, and it's like, was there like this level of excitement for these other cities? And I'm sure some of them take some different models. But so first, when did you actually go, uh, uh, Dr. Lola?
I haven't been. I haven't been
Okay.
to Dubai, but it's been on my radar. I was supposed to go in 2020, right? When the pandemic stopped everything,
Oh,
right?
right, right, right.
It was
Yeah.
my intention to bring in 2021 in Dubai. And so actually my cousins, my family went last year, but they
Oh,
went last minute, so I didn't get to go. But it's someplace I'm gonna, not always wanted to, right? It's someplace
hmm,
I'm going to go
right.
because of the wealth significance, if that makes sense to you.
So when you say the wealth significance, what you mean by that? Like,
So this, I'm big on energy, right? I don't know, I'm big on energy, but it's in the air, it's everything, it's us, right? It's what connects all of us to each other. And so I'll give you an example. I have a friend, I won't say his name, who lives in a building that also has 52 billionaires who are owners in that building, right?
wow, you said they
I
live there?
love going to that
You
building,
said they
huh?
live there, or they
He
own
lives
it? They
No, he lives there. He lives in the
He
building,
lives there.
and there are 52 billionaires that live in that building.
In Dubai.
And no, 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 no. This is not in
Oh,
Dubai. This is here in the States.
they gotta be New York, right?
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's actually Miami.
Oh, well, okay, okay, okay. All right, all right, all right.
But when I go to that building, and I've been there probably about 4 or 5 times now, I seems like I just feel the energy of abundance in that space, right?
Mm.
I always joke when we go. I'm like, I'm laying on the elevator. I'm gonna be all on the buttons, right? Like I just, I just want to
Right.
soak it up. And he's been to Dubai and really he's a Dubai citizen. He's a citizen of Dubai now. And it seems to me
Wait a
like
minute.
when
Wait a minute. Say that again.
he's a citizen. He has dual citizenship. He's also a citizen of Dubai.
But is he like from U.S.?
Yeah, he's from the U.S. You know who it is. I'm just not gonna say his name.
Oh, it's
But
okay. Yeah, that's all good. But yeah, we don't want to put nobody business out. But so there are Americans that are going getting citizenship there.
yes, because their money is not accosted by taxes there, right? So because they can keep more of they can keep their money as citizens there when they transfer their money over into Dubai. So people like to. He told me, he said, I got dual citizenship for a couple of different reasons. He's like, first of
Mm,
all, you don't know what's ever going to jump off in the United States, and if you want to be able to go somewhere else, you need to be prepared, right? And so
mm,
that's one of the reasons he did it, but he did it also because of financial reasons. But he says, and I noticed when he started going to Dubai more, I saw his life just, his finances and everything just take off. I mean, it just seemed like it just exploded. And I imagine that someone who goes to Dubai that often and has decided to become a Dubai citizen, um, there's a reason why he's there. So I want to go there because I feel like when I go there, I'm going to feel the same level of that abundance that I'm talking about, because it's just, it's in the air. I'm not saying there are no people in Dubai who don't have a lot of money, but the focus there is to be abundant
mm.
from what I can see. And as a business
All right.
person, that's real important to me.
Yes, yes. And I'll bring you on, Sister Kim. So Kim Poole, she's going to be getting an award in Dubai, and some of the sheroes will be going there, and it's an international conference, and many some of her sheroes will be going there um, to accept her award. But Kim, I'm gonna bring you on in a second, man. That you brought up a lot of different things. So, I mean, and I'll let you on after I ask this question, Kim, Lola. So you feel like he, like the brother, did a lot of significant networking there, and did he do deals there as well, or like investing there?
He did a
Possibly what
lot of
you don't know.
networking, and he's involved in cryptocurrency. So a lot of the crypto spaces that have made a lot of money are based in Dubai.
Mm,
And so because of that, he did. And everybody that I know who's gone there, it's funny, last winter, I probably can count about 20 people that I know personally that were in Dubai at, and these are all multimillionaires, African Americans, that were at
mm,
one single event. It was of an
mm,
event, and they all went and they were at this one particular event. And
mm-hmm,
I said, wow, I'm never going to let that event happen again
mm,
without making my way there, because the networking that was possible in the room, and the networking is just crazy. But what he did show, I feel like he showed all of us who follow him on social media, is how important it is to put yourself in the right spaces, right? In order
mm-hmm,
to make the right connections. And to me, Dubai is one of those centers in the world. I think the different centers in the world that you are destined to go to make certain connections on your path. And for
mm-hmm,
me, I know that I've seen myself standing on the balcony looking out over the water. So I know that that's a space I'm supposed to go to.
mm. Beautiful. Okay, okay. Thank you for that. Yes. So Sister Kim, so come on in, and if you wanted to say something to Sister Lola, but also to talk about this award, and I'll try to pull it up a little bit to, if you don't have it in front of you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. It's I guess you just never know who's watching. And so uh it's just nice to be acknowledged. We've been doing this work by all means. We've not been focused on seeking out award and recognition like opportunities, because you get so busy just doing the work. Your head is down, you're building the connections, but after 15 plus years, it's time to have it acknowledged, to help with the assessment, right? Because we award people that have a portfolio of effectiveness. And so I hope that this global youth, I don't think I'm a youth, I have real big grown woman bills, so I don't think I'm a youth, but apparently they still think that I'm a young person that got good genes, and so I'll accept it. And perhaps it's because I'm still young in this work. The journey ahead of me is long. We have elders that have been doing this work 30 and 40, 50 years. And so, my 15 plus is just a drop in the bucket next to those who have been doing this work to organize global African people, this work in art for social transformation, and more importantly, this work in culture as the new currency. That's the motto of our organization. Culture is the new currency. And it just so happens to be converging in Dubai. So I'm celebrating right now my Shiro sisterhood. Next week, we'll be in New York at the United Nations advocating for global African women. And they are showing up to Dubai, uh, on behalf of this work that I've done to get the award for me. And I mean, you can't pay for that type of time and energy and support and acknowledgement from the women, that are part of my sisterhood, that are saying, yes, I'll take time away from my life, my family, my community, and my children, and go to Dubai on your behalf to pick this up. So I just want to acknowledge our Shiro sisterhood in Kentucky, the ones that are taking care of it, Miss CJ Dunford, as well as Cynthia Lee, both incredible business women in their own right, most of them in charge of the entrepreneurship accelerators in Louisville, Kentucky. A lot of people know Boyce Watkins is also from Louisville, Kentucky. So it's a lot of great business minds coming out of that area. And to have them in our Shiro sisterhood, I mean, it's in the network. What can I say? You said it yourself, Lola, that the guy you're talking about, and I do have a couple things about what he's been telling people. I'm glad I don't know his name, because then I can just talk freely, right? And not feel guilty about it. But a lot of positioning, it's about who you know, when you meet them, and how. It's just power plays in this game. And so your network is your net worth. You can never say that enough. And that's a part of the culture. That's what we mean when we say culture is the new currency. The human resource is the greatest resource, and that is really the source of your wealth. And so will be celebrated, our acknowledgement of this work. The company is based out of Nepal, but they do business in Dubai as well. And so the 7 Asian tigers, right? Their emergence has already begun. And so Nepal is just quietly coming behind them and doing business in Dubai. That's why they chose that location. What I will say is that the United Emirates, where Dubai is located, Abu Dhabi, I mean, it's a conglomerate. And it's important to understand that it's run by kingdoms. So their, monarchies are still active, alive, and still very rich, as they were in the inception of Dubai. And so you can't get, as an outsider, citizenship to Dubai. You can get a worker's permit like many of the Nigerians do. You can get a business visa to come and stay for extended periods. And some people that currently live there that have work permits, they teach the English language abroad. And so they're able to make great money there through their knowledge and skills and business deals. But the Emirates would never allow, you have to be born into one of the kingdoms to have citizenship. They have different classes. Classism is very real in Dubai. I mean, it's oil tycoon money that's really long. And so it's important that we're preparing, especially our people, with the tools they need to effectively do business. And that means communicating with them the first time, because in our community, we just don't have money to waste on misinformation. We have to do it right the first time. And that means sharing not just the perception of what wealth looks like, because it bolsters our brand and it somehow validates our legitimacy in the market, but being real about the hurdles that we have to overcome to be effective, those side deals, being transparent about needing to pool resources as a community when you don't have enough money to be at the table. Because like you said, there are billionaires in Dubai, not just millionaires. These oil tycoons have long money, and sometimes investment deals come along and you don't even have enough money to play at that table. We've been partnered in some regions around the world where we work our organization with the office of the president. And we had to humbly bow out and say, listen, we don't have enough money to invest on the level that you need. And we're not going to waste your time because we wouldn't want you to waste ours. And so if you want to go to Dubai or the United Emirates, Abu Dhabi, or any of the areas in that kingdom, because it's, again, monarchy and effective kingdoms that are still at work, even if it isn't promoted in that way, it's important to make sure that if you want to do that outside of vacation, that you're prepared. And so having that knowledge means getting with investment firms and venture capital firms that are willing to be transparent. And so I'm not sure who that guy is, but if they went into a room with millionaires, that's great. We do events, but who really got money from those events? Maybe Delta, maybe one of those 8-star hotels that they have over in Dubai. I work in the tourism industry, tourism and hospitality management, and I didn't ask to go in tourism originally. I'm an artist by trade. I went into the industry because I realized in our work to connect global African people, in our work in art for social transformation, that Delta, Hilton, and Marriott was getting the most of the money. And I said, listen, we can no longer engage people from around the world, convene them in locations, and not only not get paid from connecting them, because that's the work we want to do. And we connect people and build their networks for free. But then also the people that show up at this table that get the most money are the largest brands, the largest corporate sponsors, the 500 companies. And so we said we have to, by default, be in tourism and hospitality management. We have to begin to own the properties that we're going to have these meetings. We need to begin to own these airplanes, boats, and forms of transportation that we're using to have these meetings. So I'm no longer impressed with people that say, I have $1 million and I went into a room and I was with other people that had $1 million. It's great to network. I understand that. But who during that convening really got the money out of the fact that use your brand and your social media platform to educate the masses? What you did was you made them have a taste for what you did and what you want. And now they're going to go and reproduce, duplicate the same system of using social media to promote this. I don't know, what is it? Not facade. Some of it is true, but to promote a perception of influence instead of teaching people how to really build wealth with the basics. Let's go back to the basics. And so that is to my friend that told you he had dual citizenship with Dubai. He does not. He is not born of Emirati blood. And
Well,
so
Tim,
he may have a work permit or a business visa. Let's
well,
start to get real clear about the language.
well. Let's see. Let me just say now. I spent some time, not particularly Dubai, but like there's a brother, Dr. David Anderson, and he does like big real estate types of things. And I know for sure in some countries, if you got enough money, you can buy yourself a citizenship. I mean, and I don't know, but I'm just putting it out there. I mean, and I know, like for instance, even a lot of Chinese trying to get their American citizenship, and I can't recall the prices, but I recall reading like an article that he wrote that sort of alluded to not just Chinese, but other people that wanted to get citizenship. I don't know if it was 500,000 or a million, but even in other countries, even for instance, African countries, it's you got enough money here. I mean, so I just say that, but I wanted to before I go to Sister Lola.
Well, while you find what's on your phone, I just want to respond and say maybe people are selling citizenship in regions around the world, but the question is, do you need citizenship to do business effectively in the region? And the answer is no. So you can
Well,
still go to Dubai and make major opportunities available for trade, barter, investment. And so you don't necessarily need that to do business. Their
well.
economy is
Let
set
me.
up so that you don't need that.
So think about it. Think about this. I know some brothers that are trying to marry some African women so that they can get citizenship, so they can get land deals in certain parts of Africa. I mean, it's happening. So I mean, and and I'm not going back researching like, yo, you know what you're talking about. You sure you want to marry African women just so you can get some land or something? I mean, or build your business. But I hear people, like having those conversations. So I just put it out there. But I mean, and it's possible you got to weigh it. Like
And let's be clear, we're not talking about Africa.
you
We're
muted,
talking about the Middle East.
you muted, Dr. Lola. And no, I'm not saying like, and I mean, I'm not saying that the Middle East. I mean, but let's all of us can go back and do our due diligence and research, like what who or why are they willing to offer a citizenship to say a U.S. citizen. Let's just take what we actually have right now. What can we just show up and just say, "Hey, I want citizenship. I'm here." You know what I'm saying? So somewhere along the line, there has to be a process, because people ain't just showing up, at the borders, like asylum seekers, and they just like, here you go. So you gotta like have something, either education or even like a skill that a particular country may need or want, like doctors or something like that. They'll say, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll need you. You guaranteed to stay here." They know you won't be productive, good to the economy, So, but and I'm not saying that every Middle East country, but it's just something internationally to be discussed and to find out. Do you need it or do you want it or etc. But go ahead, Dr. Lola.
Well, I mean, I know what I saw and what he showed me. So I'll just say that, right? It wasn't a conversation about, I know what he showed me, but I don't even want to get into him anymore because too many people know me and too many people probably already know what I'm talking about. So I don't want to
Right,
do
right,
that.
right, right.
But as far as the room where the billionaires and the millionaires were, those people are all people who build businesses, who build Black people. So the people that I know. So it wasn't just about, stunting, and showing, look what I got. It wasn't about that. It was all of those people are people that the people that I know that are building and teaching people about eliminating debt, and building their wealth and real estate and crypto and and things of that nature. And so everybody in the room wasn't that, right? Mayweather was in the room, right? but
You said he was?
so I
You
know
said he was?
everybody in the room, huh?
You said Mayweather was?
Yeah, Mayweather was in the room. But a lot of those people, not all of them, are about that. I think though, what I know, I know what it did for a lot of them was it opened their eyes up about what true wealth looks like. And we have a tendency to think that we balling because we got a Bentley or whatever, and that ain't wealth. If there's nothing that supports that and there's no building blocks to continue that, to push it, to create legacy, it's not wealth. But a lot of those people, I know they came back thinking a different way about how they needed to move forward. And so when you go to those places, because a lot of us are not as aware as you and Brother Haki are, for whatever reason, right? I'm not gonna give them an excuse for not being there, but a lot of them are not. And so everybody's on their own little journey about how to become conscious, And one of the things that I try not to do, because I don't even think that Haki knows my background insofar as the continent and my knowledge about African history, not even African American history, because I don't run around. My personal people around me know that. But what I know is that everybody's on a different journey for consciousness. And what I try not to do is ever, not to say you are, but I try not to judge on what it might look like on the surface, right? Because everybody's working through their process and they're meeting up at different spaces and different places. And so the brother with the citizenship or not, right? He may be a little less aware than you are, or that Brother Haki is, about how to move or what different significances are in Dubai, what he needs to be aware of. I don't know if he knows all of that stuff. I just know that he knew it was important to be a part of that, become a part of that culture, in order for him to get to the next level. I think that we have not boundaries, but I think we know what we know, and you don't know what you don't know. And so when you put yourself into other arenas, you get to learn things that you never knew existed. And that is why I want to go there, because I know that there are things about wealth there that I'm probably never going to learn here. Right. And so because I'm not in the rooms with the people here to learn there, but when I go there, I won't go there unless I'm in those rooms. So I ain't going there to party and ride the camels and, show all of that. I'm not really going there to do that. I mean, if I want to do it, when people go there to shop, I ain't interested in shopping, right? I'm really interested in going there to network. to really
Right.
learn,
I feel you. No.
what's going on there. So
Yeah.
that's just
No.
how I
That's a
feel
good
about
point. No, and that's why, I wanted to, just mention some of the countries that are going to be involved in this. Bolivia, N- Nigeria. I always say everywhere you go, all the way around the world, there's a Nigerian and there's a Jamaican. Lola, you Jamaican?
I am not Jamaican.
Oh.
I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm like an honorary Jamaican. I'm just joking.
All right, let me see. Georgia, actually Georgia, I think that's in Europe
That's
somewhere.
near Russia, isn't it?
Yeah, Iraq, India, Uzbekistan, Egypt, a lot of Egypt, Somalia, Papua New Guinea, Ethiopia, Mexico, Bangladesh, a lot of Bangladesh I saw. Man, a lot of Bangladesh. Chad, Egypt, Bangladesh.
And that's who's going to be receiving awards at the
Yeah,
event.
different countries are going to be present. Bangladesh, good lord. Nepal, Palestine. Ooh, let me see. Chad, Uzbekistan, Bangladesh, Egypt. Okay, Ethiopia. All right, so those are some of the countries that are going to be represented at this thing that some of the sheroes will be going to. But that's what I was. It's interesting that you mentioned that because I always wonder, and I'll come to you, Kim. Even how the real estate is like. I mean, I read about the different hotels and things of that nature, and they have their own flights, right? They have their own planes. To your
Oh
knowledge,
yeah,
anybody?
United Emirates is a big deal.
Okay, so it's not like okay, right, yes, yes, and now I was
$20,000 to fly first class
right. I
to Dubai.
remember.
20 grand.
Yeah,
20 grand
and
for one
interesting.
seat.
Wow,
Yeah.
and I remember that they have like the world's top black card. I read that somewhere when I was researching different cards or something. It's like a black card, and I think it got an unlimited amount. Like, like you could just go and spend millions of dollars. Like, and I think it's like only 15 of them that gave out in the world or something like that. So that's just something I would kind of that I read up
It's
on.
a fascinating culture, and it's one that most of us will never understand because uh, that's an accumulation, like Kim was saying, of wealth over many, 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 many years, right? And it really just goes, and like you said, it's a monarchy. That kind of wealth, it seems actually obscene at times when you see some of the things that they have, like golden cars. It's like my son seems to be lately. He's been showing me a lot of stuff from that area, and so I said to him, well, one of the houses I think is something ridiculous, like 300 and something $1,000, something ridiculous, right? And I say ridiculous because I said, even if I were a billionaire, I can't see myself spending that kind of money on a house. When I know that there's a sister somewhere who got an electric bill she got to pay, a
Mm,
brother somewhere who ain't got a car and he got to walk 5 miles to work, I cannot see myself spending that kind of money. Recently, I went to go look at a Bentley. I don't know if you saw me do that online, Aki. But when I came back home, and that was a suggestion from one of my mentors, and I didn't want to do it, and I fought with it, and I didn't want to do it, and I did do it. Now I love the car because I'm an automobile girl, right? I love automobiles, fine automobiles.
hmm.
The however is, I can't see myself spending what a house costs on a car. I
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like that. And not that I don't deserve it. It's not about deserving. It's about
Hmm.
priorities, right?
Right.
And I can't see that. So that, no shade on anybody, but for me, I loved it. It was an exercise in manifestation, right? For myself, but I
Yeah.
can't see me
It's
doing
interesting
it.
that you say that. And what's the gosh, Warren Buffett. And when I read his book, the Buffett Way, and he lives in a $300,000 house. I don't know if he still do, and he drove a truck for the longest time, and he drove. I think it might have been an F-150 for a long time, a pickup truck, and I believe even like Sam Walton or the Walton family, the Walmart drove a truck for the pickup truck for the longest time. And so, but and I, I mean, knowledge and flashy. I mean, like they're different people. Different people do different things, and not to shade anybody, but when for instance, stories like that, you kind of it humbles you to make you feel like, all right, I do I really need all that? I mean, do I really
Yeah,
need to be
and I don't want
flashy?
my young brothers and sisters thinking that they supposed to take their coins and spend it on a Bentley and still struggling. You understand? To me,
Right,
that's not
right,
necessarily success to me. Success to me,
exactly.
let me tell y'all what to say, and then I'm gonna shut up. Well, no one knows what success. Success to me is if I could give away $1 million a month
Mm,
to people to source their dreams, to build their
wow.
businesses, to make sure that this one's not hungry, that one's not living on the street. I got a sister friend right this minute who just got put out of her place. Okay.
Oh
That's
wow.
what took no. So for me, and
Yes,
not
yes,
she
yes.
ain't no slouch, none of that kind of stuff.
Mm,
It was misfortune. But to me,
mm,
that's what success is. That's my goal. $1 million
mm,
a month to give away
mm.
to
That's
make a difference.
powerful.
That's to me, that's bigger than a Bentley, a 240 something $1,000 million house. That right there, that's success to me.
Yeah. Because after a while, you start feeling like, okay, well, how do I matter to others? Like it's not no longer about what you want, what you need. After you start have lived a little bit, it's like, okay, like what's next? So yeah, so I'm not gonna hold both of you too much, Kim. Tell us a little bit, and this is a good conversation. I enjoy, we talked about Dubai and everything else, and then we got into the wealth discussions, which is good because that is, I mean, and I feel, and I wanted to put this together because, I'll come back to Kim because there is tentatively, Dr. Lola, we were in DC a few weeks ago where some of the African presidents were present.
Yeah.
Um, so many people know there was a U.S. African Leadership Summit where 53, I believe, I don't know, it wasn't all of them because some aren't allowed to come to the United States for whatever reason. Um, they came and many met with President Biden, but there were other side events going on, with other, presidents or something. And in that, there was a group who tentatively are discussing creating a country in Africa. And it's in the Sudan area, I believe. Kim, is that correct? But it's going to be called the Kingdom of Kush. And their theory is to create a type of Dubai. That's what their theory was because it's similar geographical area. So Kim, I don't know how much you want to talk about that, or if you want to, just say a little bit about it. To
So
yes.
yeah. So that I think is how Dubai should be utilized as a case study, as a model. Um, and so that is what the Kingdom of Kush has turned it into. So Berta Will is a region that is south of Egypt and north of Sudan on the border,
Thank you.
and it's unclaimed territory. It's desert, it's barren, and it's abandoned. So for the past 30 years, a collective of people that are descendants from that region, both a mixture of Egypt and Sudan, what we have to remember is that these borders are drawn by colonial powers. And
Hmm.
That's
so
right.
the ethnic groups in the areas don't quite see the land the way that we do. And so as a result of the war, that area got caught in the middle and
Mhm.
abandoned. And so they have put out a petition, the Kingdom of Kush, that they would like to reclaim that region. And they're using Dubai as a model for how it could be developed to its fullest capacity. And they've invited the African American community to be a part of its development. And so in December of 2022, when Biden invited all the African presidents, there were many side events that the state government recognized.
State Department.
Um,
State Department.
and so,
The
say
State
again?
Department. The State
Yeah,
Department.
the State Department. And so one of the recognized side events was the US Africa Trade and Investment Forum. And so the Kingdom of Kush was there in representation. Our organization, we were one of the organizers. And unbeknownst to us, they asked in the community internationally who had been doing the work in connecting the diaspora to the continent. And our name was put in the hat, and they gave us money just like that. $5,000. Actually, it was 10. We shared five of our thousand with the 6 region diaspora caucus because we said, no, they are also doing the work. Dr. David Horn, Dr. Beryl Beekman, Brother Kumasi and Brother Kamau in Seattle, Washington. And so we took 5 of our 10 and gave them and said, listen, if you want to acknowledge organizations doing the work to connect global African people, then please also recognize them. And so I've been working in Africa for many years, but I've never had, outside of my music, where they pay me to perform, I've never had an African government just hand me a check. And so
Wow.
when they gave us the money, it wasn't about the $10,000. It was the fact that they said, we're inviting the African Americans to the table to be a part of the development and the ideation of this Kingdom of Kush, what could be. And we're not inviting you because we want you to bring all your money and save us, or we're not inviting you because we see you as a tourism check, like the year of return. We're inviting you because we see your value. And like many of the Black people that live in the Middle East, because there are Black people just as Black as us living in the Middle East, and for generations, they haven't had citizenship
Mm,
because they're living in a Middle Eastern country and they were brought there, migrated there, and now they're in a country where they don't legally have the right to live and work. And so
mm,
can you imagine being undocumented in the Middle East? If you think it's
mm,
hard here in the US, where at least they'll put you on a plane and fly you back to your country,
Right.
you just imagine in a desert, in the heat. I just can't imagine. And so they're saying we see displacement when we look at the Black community in the US. And so for those of you that want an actual passport, one in a country where you have an actual say about leadership that you can actually help to develop, we are trying to develop this, the Kingdom of Kush. So right now, they have a petition. They have 6 countries that are in Africa that have already acknowledged their existence, the Kingdom of Kush. And so we meet with them next week while we're at their office at the World Trade Center in New York, the Kingdom of Kush. And they've selected Queen Mother Blakely. She was the predecessor to Queen Mother Moore in New York, to be their ceremonious or figurehead leadership and president while they're in their planning stages. But I just think what an incredible concept. I don't
Absolutely.
know if it will work. I don't know if it, will or won't, but what a great idea. And the fact that we would be at the table while it is being planned, I think that that's an incredible invitation. And so anybody that's interested in that, they've clearly got the right idea. They're looking at Dubai. They're pulling in theology and our view as Pan-Africans to the development table, but they're looking at the business model of Dubai. And so the landscape and the topography, I think it's promising. It's not a promise, but it's
mm.
promising. And so the Kingdom of Kush, I recommend that anybody that's interested in investments, that they consider them and they go to their website for the petition to learn more about them. Kingdom of Kush. I think it's kingdomofkush.org, but I can find that and post it. I also wrote an article about it in the National Black Unity newspaper. And so the latest issue of the National Black Unity News has some background information about the Kingdom of Kush. If you go to, I think it's nationalblackunitynews.com. And so go to page 22. I'm a writer for the Rhythm People section. But as it relates to Dubai, again, I'm just excited that our sheroes have an opportunity to go there and be catered for because they're giving me this award, Global Youth Leadership. You know, I'm in tourism, and so I can't be giving out free trips. You know, y'all got to pay. Y'all got to pay me. So it's nice that I can call on my sheroes and say, hey, sis, go on this trip. Yeah, cover your flight, but when you get there, your hotel and your meals and your networking is covered, and then you don't have to pay a dime because it's in a network. And so sharing the small resources that we have, you know, that feels nice. Like what you said, Lola, it's, you know, your vision of success would be if you could give out $1 million each month. And so maybe I don't have $1 million, but definitely it's in my network. And so every time we have an opportunity to connect the right people, that is my version of success. Like I just made somebody $1 million because now they have all the tools they need, all the resources to make it happen. And $1 million run out quick if you don't know how it can duplicate itself. And so that means having the right people in place so that it's a system in place that continues to grow with or without you, right? Residual income. And so I'm honored. Thank you, Haki, for bringing me here. You know, your Lola, I've been running you down. We're going to call you. We want you to be a part of our East Africa investment opportunity. You know, Ujamaa or Ujama, depending on where you're from, Akubulin or Ukabulon Investments. Swatara Olushola and her husband, Baba Sinswali, they are living in Rwanda, Kigali, another
Rwanda's hot too.
incredible
Rwanda,
opportunity for investment.
Rwanda is
Rwanda is
hot too.
growing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, their economy has doubled. I'm talking about in the past 5 years. This is like, it's not been seen.
Mm,
Africa is not just the first frontier, the cradle of civilization. It's the last frontier. It's the
mm,
That's right.
resource of the world.
mm,
Coltan and your cell phone, rubber in your tires, all of the raw materials that you need. And now they are on the precipice of building the infrastructure to manufacture and create added value products for themselves. So they will no longer have to send their raw resources and materials abroad to be
mm,
finished and turned into finished goods. And so now is a window of opportunity for those looking for investment. Please consider Africa across industry because this window of opportunity is not going to last. They are catching up to us. And so use this and say thank you to your ancestors. You are in a position to take the small dollars that you have here, take that $1 million if you have it, take your 10,000 if you have it, and go and find an industry on the continent and invest in it now while your dollar can still go further for you.
mm.
Because in the next 15 to 20 years, you'll be in the same boat. They'll be caught up and that window of opportunity will be gone. And so Swatara Olushola and Baba Sentwali, they're leading an investment tour across East Africa in Kenya, the Great Valley Rift, Rwanda, and Tanzania. So you'll go to all three of those countries for $5,500, all expenses included. Flights, listen, it's practically free. Your flight alone is $1,500. That's from here in the US going to East Africa. Then your flights covered from Tanzania to Rwanda to Kenya, your transportation there. And of course, for me, culture is the new currency. So we're going to make sure that you get some of that value system, some of that wealth and knowledge as well while you're on the ground. Let your head down, some of that work-life balance and integration. So please, Lola, share it to your friends. If you can go this year, great. But even if you can't, tell some of the people you know. You need still in Africa to be on the ground. Somebody needs to be. Let their investment form be your eyes and ears and legs if you can't go. Even if you don't want to take a tour with us, connect with Swatara and their AI investment firm. Maybe you can still make investments, but I suggest that you go and see it for yourself so that you believe it. But thank you again, Haki. I appreciate it
Right.
being here on the
No,
platform with Miss Dr. Boundless Lola. Yes,
absolutely,
ma'am.
absolutely. So, yeah,
But
no,
I
it's,
want to just say really quickly, you sound to me, you are. I love culture is the new currency because it sounds like that currency is over $1 million for you already, because of what you're able to share with
mm,
people in the community that is being pulled together. It don't matter how
mhm.
the million manifest. You know
It,
what I'm saying? To me,
social
it's
capital, right?
yeah, it's social
Yep,
capital. I mean, our network is the most of us. That's the right. If we're building it,
right,
and so I think
exactly.
it's really when I'm looking at what you're talking about, as I'm listening to you, and culture is the new currency. Man, that $1 million, if it ain't there, it's already there, and that's the other way to do it. And I agree with you 100%. I want to put tools and training and resources and understanding and exposure in place to help people know what to do with what they get. And it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like that's what you all are doing right now. With, I mean, just to be able to provide a trip like that. So whatever that trip is would cost otherwise, you know what I'm saying? That's a segment of that $1 million a month, you know.
Mm.
And so I think if we can do it all in concert with each other, that would be amazing. And I am going to, I'm not sure about being able to attend. I want to, but I do still want to be able to, and I have been telling people about the trip. So, but I do still want to do it with you in a formal fashion, in a video to speak to my audience.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay.
Indeed. Yes. And that's where the People's Principles comes in. For those, Dr. Lola, did you have that book, Don Peebles?
What is it called?
Don Peebles' book.
I do not. Mm-mm.
So Don Peebles, and I know I know I told you I might have sent you a picture of it, but Don Peebles he was in DC and he's in New York now, but he has property in Miami. But he's like, if not the biggest, but one of the biggest real estate gurus, in black gurus in America. But he got his start through working through in DC through Marion Barry's uh, network, and he learned the ropes through that about real estate and taxes and things like that. And he's in New York. He was going to run for mayor of New York, but he has an organization both in New York and in Miami. That's why when you said you about the billionaires, and I told him, although I was like, look, we got to go to Miami, like you know what I'm saying, like don't. I mean, honestly, when you are growing in different ways, and your peers, or sometimes you need like somebody that got like some big money. You know what I'm saying? That's at the table, that they respect your work, they appreciate your work, so that you can be like, you can call somebody, be like, all right, who do you know in your network that you can call and say, look, I need $5,000, like, and they just like, you good for it. You see what I'm saying? So eventually, you need one or two people like that to say, when you have the right deal. And that's what the People's Principle talk about. When you have the right deal, and even in real estate, when what they say, if the deal is right, the money will appear, right, Lola?
No, that's real. I
Yeah.
mean, and
So,
there are, and you do. So for such a long time, we have felt like we've had to choose between being wealthy and conscious, and the
mm,
two, that's just not true. You want to be conscious and wealthy, because if you're
mm,
both, then you can really affect the change. Things can happen through us gathering and through us doing different things, but the currency of money is, it's not just tangible, it's
mm,
spiritual.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So money is it's just as spiritual. That currency, you said that word. When I say the word currency, I feel it, because it's
mm,
movement, and
mm,
so I want us to be, I want to know, and I'm not gonna call any names, but I want us to know that we have to be conscious and have currency, right? Those
mm,
two things need to coexist. It's not like, oh, if you wealthy, you about some garbage. You know what I'm saying? If you wealthy, you ain't about nothing. If you wealthy, you just trying to take. It's not like that. There are a lot of people like that, but I think the consciousness level of us as humans, and as people of African descent, is growing insofar as what spirituality is, right? And how connected our mindset is to our pockets, and so we
mm,
we we gotta remember that, and that those two things are not opposed to each other. They should go hand in hand. And if we really conscious, we should be the wealthiest people on the planet anyway,
mm,
because we know what to
And
do
I
with
want
it.
to add to that. I want to add to what you just said, because I think it's important to know that money is a tool and that it was created. And what I've realized I don't know what it is. I guess I truly am my ancestors' daughter because I've never been impressed by people that are overwhelmingly rich. And I've been blessed with the opportunity young on to be around true wealth. And so what you said earlier about, Walton having a pickup truck and about the dude from what is it, the Buffett, Warren
One
Buffett,
buck.
having a $300,000 house. Listen,
That's poor
I
for him.
know
That's poor for him.
multimillionaires. Yes. And
Right.
they wear moccasins and they drive Volvos. And so I learned early on, like people say, Kim, you got a Toyota Corolla? I said, yeah, two of them. 2005, I'm about to ship one to the Gambia so I can have my Toyota Corolla and be driving over there too. So we have been deceived about what real wealth looks like, but it comes back to value system. That is why culture is the new currency, because it helps you to determine what is of value. And I think that the reason that those that are the self-righteous prophets, the poor prophets, they see money as evil. I don't know if it's money itself, but what they have seen is people that are only focused on the pursuit of money, that their intentions are out of alignment with the entire community's growth, because they've learned about these systems from a capitalistic perspective, that shareholders, companies that outlive human form, where the company is the conglomerate and you can never catch up to it because it grows in consumption without checks and balance. And so I think we need to analyze these systems of wealth to determine if they were birthed out of what is best for our sustainability as a people. It's okay to say this part works and this part doesn't. Capitalism helps us with competitive edge. Yes, it's nice but does that competition means I'm gonna, knock out the competition? Like I'm gonna take you out, sis. It's like, no, it's healthy that you have a product and I have a product. And so we're competing to see how we can make the best version of ourselves, our services, but not to the extent where we're taking people out of the market. We don't want them to exist. We want to be the monopoly on the service. And so there are elements that are effective, but we need to take a step back and say what part of this system works for us and what parts don't. And so that analysis is for the Dr. Lolas of the world, right? People that are doing this work, the practitioners that are teaching us how to be sustainable and raise our consciousness and capital. I love the name of Haki's platform, Raising Consciousness and Raising Capital, because they can happen simultaneously. But
Absolutely.
when we're in alignment with our culture, we do that in a way that is balanced and holistic. Last but not least, I'll say that not every industry is for us. So that's also important. I think about Mother Nature and knowledge around how to protect her. I remember, Lola, when we first met each other, I said that the mining industry, mining, for diamonds and mining for, gold, etc., is a major opportunity on the continent, but it's not necessarily one of the industries that are being featured by a Cabulon Investments, the investment firm owned and operated by our curator, Swatara Olushola, and her husband. And because I asked why, she said it does so much damage to the earth. And the people that are doing that work, they are in such poor and, unhealthy conditions that it isn't balanced. And so until there's technology that's allowing us to do that work without the invasiveness of the workers and without the damage to the environment, then perhaps we should leave that industry where it is. But I know people that will stare you down, argue you down, say, what is this sister out here telling people not to go into the diamonds industry, into the gold mining industry? And so, that's that value system again at work, determining it's not just what we accomplish, but how. Culture is the how we accomplish it, that part. So, yeah, again, and don't
I
say,
want
I
to tell you
don't know if I'm
something.
coming.
That conversation that I had with you, in turn, made me turn down a business opportunity because of the
Wow.
conversation that I had with you. And sister, she still is coming after me. But I did my homework about the company that she was telling me about. And I found out that though they were saying that they were taking care of and not being reckless as so far as the mining, that wasn't true. And
Mm,
so, and I probably would not have done that level of investigation to ask the questions had I not had that conversation with you. When she said to me, well, how do you know? You won't know until you get there. I said, well, then I can't participate until I go and I know, right? Because I won't
Absolutely.
participate in it if there's any idea. And right now, I've been told that they're reckless in that. But I do want to say this, and this is the last thing
mm,
I want to say. There are lots of industries that we probably need to stay away from, but we have to master them and we have to understand how they work, because we can stay away from them as far as so far as investing our monies unless they're being handled properly. But we have to stay watching them and we have to stay monitoring them, because we're the only ones who are going to change the way that they're being handled. Right. So if I completely eliminate my mindset from that, now I'm focused on mining, but I'm focused on mining and trying to find out who and what and how it's possible to do it in a responsible way. If, right, maybe it's not, but I can't speak to a company or a CEO or anybody like that about why it's not unless I really understand what's going on. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So we have to stay knowledgeable.
And you know, absolutely. And I was about to say, I was saying, don't be saying you're not coming. You are coming with us. We need you in the room. This is, and you know, we do trips. We do trips. I'm in the tourism space, but this trip is not like other trips. We are putting our value, that $1 million that you say we're worth in our network, we're connecting you to the Nandi County government. The governor of Nandi County right now, he is the head of all governors in Kenya. So that's inroads across the country. We have an MOU. We're providing an opportunity for you to invest in a way that's protected, that's going to be monitored with the right supports. And we're not saying we can, you know, do that every time. This is an opportunity. And I know that it's not just a trip. So we want the right people at the table. And you've been doing this work and you're balanced and you have a holistic perception of the industry, like what you just said. It's like, nah, I'm the watchdog. Even if I don't invest, I need to be at this table to make sure that y'all doing it right, to be able to get that ear to the street and take that information back to my people that are looking to invest. I want to make sure when I talk to them, I talk with authority because I know what's happening on the ground because I saw it for myself. I want a firsthand experience. And that's why we need you with us. This we're going to talk about it. I'm not letting you go that quick. We're going to make it
Okay.
happen, Miss Lola. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All
all right,
right. I'm
so,
open. I'm open, Kim.
we
I'm
good.
open.
So, all right. Well, this has been great. Y'all stayed on longer, and I appreciate it. So I said we just gonna be short, y'all, but it was a good conversation. It just uplifted my spirits to hear all the wisdom and come out and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do my research on this tourism and citizenship thing because I still think that you can pay in certain countries. I don't know about the Middle East, but I know, but I'm gonna get back with that and so let's figure that out. And so thank y'all, and we'll see you both soon. So keep up the good work, keep moving forward, and keep elevating. Thank you, everybody else, for tuning in, listening. Do share, like, and subscribe. Have a great day,
Thank you.
everybody. All right, peace and bless, sister. Thank you. Thanks a million.